back to Brian Action Fig Reviews, and here with my co-host Tubbs and Brian Action Figs. How are we today, boys?
Are
you finished?
Oh, I love
it. Welcome back to Brian's Action Figure Reviews. It's episode 33. And sorry about the introduction from Rich there. I did not condone that. And I'm leaving it in just so everyone can have it. This week it was my choice. And I picked WrestleMania 8. Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper for the Intercontinental Championship. And first off, what did you think of the match, guys? Whoever can go. The choice, I mean.
You know what? See, when you said this match last week, I was like I'm a big Piper fan. Mm-hmm. I think he's one of the best heels of all time. You know what I mean? I think people try to he set the bar, and people try to, if you're going to be the heel, this is what you got to fucking be, kind of thing. Obviously, I'm a big Bret Hart fan, so to me, this is a great choice. Watching the match, maybe not so much.
Tubbs, choice.
Well, I mean, to go back to what Rich was saying about Roddy Piper, this is the guy that got a coconut. He got heat from a coconut, for Christ's sake. Do you know what I mean? He was that good at being a heel. He was so good. I came at this one with a very, very different fucking mindset. This is my wheelhouse. This is story-based wrestling. This match was built around an entire story. So this was never going to be a tier 10, a top 10 technical. Roddy Piper was never known for that. He was he can put on a sleeper hold and a figure four and so on, but he was never a Bret Hart. He was never
expecting that kind of technical from him, though.
No, but you know what I mean. So for me, I think these two mirrored each other nicely. It was a very different dynamic of style. He was more a brawler, very similar. And I'm going to throw it out here. Very similar to when Hart fought Austin. It was very, very similar dynamics going on.
Can I just say something off the back of you saying this was a brawler versus a technical wrestler, and how they worked? This is going what I said way back. Way back when we reviewed fucking Osprey and Ricochet, and I was two same type wrestlers isn't a good fucking way to have a match. Now this is an example when you have two great different type of wrestlers in a match. Can I what you just said there is kind of prove my point on what I said a few weeks ago?
No, I agree with what you're saying there, but I also would state that the Osprey Ricochet match is a very, very different dynamic. That's a new breed of wrestling. This was very much old guard style, so it worked way better back in that style. It really did. It was just because if you look at it, man, you can tell from watching matches back in the early 90s, even the approach to the matches, you could even tell it did, because guys back then didn't do the high flying moves. They didn't do all these things. So guys back then had to rely on characters, like how a character, like a brawler, would fight like a brawler, or a technician would fight like a technician. It's the lines have become blurred in the 2020 vacuum we're in now, watching back at these matches, because guys like Will Ospreay, Ricochet, things like that. It's not just them. It's the Young Bucks. It's Hangman Page. It's everyone that's in wrestling now. Like big guys. Keith Lee, for instance, is a big guy. If Keith Lee was back in this day, Keith Lee would not be doing moonsaults.
He'd be big Bam Bam Bigelow. That's who he'd be.
He would. Bam Bam Bigelow was the exception. And Vader, there was every now and again they'd throw him up, but it wasn't their day-to-day wheelhouse. Do you know what I mean? For what I mean by that is you did see it from Bam Bam, you did see it from Vader, but it wasn't all the time. But Keith Lee, it's just not. I'm not saying I'm not picking Keith Lee out. I'm just saying it's all the even bigger guys are doing it weekly. It's a weekly thing. It's on every show. That's why the difference. They've taken the reins off this generation's wrestling. So when I go back and watch matches like this, and I see to what I can agree with what Rich's point is about that, but it's generational, because back in that generation, this works so much better. When you have two different type of wrestlers working together in the ring, you get a better match. There's a better story being told. There's just a better presence of difference. Nowadays, it is very much the same. Like a point Rich, going back to another point Rich made, Shawn Michaels. When Shawn Michaels was back in the day, super kick was one of the most feared finishers. Then, if you got hit by the super kick, you were down. Now everyone does a super kick, and it's not even a finisher.
Way
it's
off here, like.
No. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is there is a break, and I've noticed that as a fan, it's not even just WWE, it's all the promotions, man, and it bothers me as much as Joey, it might bother you guys. It's nothing's in the vacuum anymore, nothing's in the bag and left there. Everything's just thrown in. It's become overkill, wrestling has at this point in the 2020 vacuum we're in. Like, that's just a long-winded thing I was trying to get off my chest, because it bothers me more since I started going back watching these older matches with you boys, and I kind of started to see it from that side, going, Jesus Christ, man.
It's dead, bro. It's dead. Anyway,
but like, you look at this match for an example. They didn't do any like crazy high flying. They didn't do any like table spots. They didn't do any like mental stuff. And this was more entertaining than most matches you watch today.
Like, for me, I went back to, I picked this match first and foremost because I have fond memories of it. I was a massive fan of, fuck that. Very nice.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Miss it. You were there for fucking like half an hour after that hour rant you just had there.
Yeah. I just had to have a sip from the cup.
You literally just taking up half the show there, Tubbs.
But anyway, I went back and I looked at it because these two were two of my favorite wrestlers back in the day. Piper, as Rich said, a fucking brilliant heel, one of the best, if not the best back then, and a template for everyone going forward. Against Bret, who was the technical babyface, etc. All what you guys said. After watching it, my quick thoughts just after watching it was very slow. It was over very fast, which kind of doesn't make sense, but
makes sense.
Yeah. But I think, like Tubbs said, it worked for this match because it was very much a cerebral match, if that makes sense. It was all about Piper and Bret. Even Bret doing the heel stuff by doing Claim Possum not once but twice. And Piper with the whole ring bell thing. I thought all that worked really well. But what I did love was the commentary of Bobby Heenan. I grew up on the commentary about Bobby Heenan and
the Gorilla.
R.I.P. both those guys. But yeah, I love when he's like, "Oh, what would you do?" He's like, "I don't know, I hit him backstage with a tire iron for the match." It's fucking brilliant.
But what I did love about this whole match was it was very much a simple story. It was the old guard versus the new guard and a passing of the torch type scenario with Piper. But it was very much that thing. Even with the bell, he couldn't hit him because as much as he wanted to win, he did respect Bret. And they were, and this is what I like about, like as you've said before, I think even Rich even mentioned this before, as sometimes when you bleed real life scenarios into matches, it has a better feel. Then they were real life friends. These guys were kind of close because there was wasn't there a connection? It was like,
they're both Canadian.
Well, no, yeah, they were all Canadian, but wasn't it Piper's uncle was first cousins with Bret's father or something like that, so they had a family connection as well. That was all brought up before the match and all that, but it was a thing of like where I think it worked because like the dastardly heel almost went back to his old ways just to pull out one more win. And then when he decided against it because he had respect for Bret, it cost himself the match. No, it's a simple tale. It's a simple tale, but as I said, it was just a good, well told story. Now, was there botches in this match? Yes, there was. Yes. Was this match 10 out of 10? Probably not. Was it a perfectly executed match? Not all the way through. But did it tell a good story, and was it sold well, and was it executed correctly? I think it was.
Okay, so let's get into botches, as you said. Probably the worst moment for me was that attempted crossbody out of the ring.
Yeah, that was where I was going.
It was so bad. I'm not used to seeing botches in a Bret Hart match.
Can I ask you a question, though? Both of you, like, this is for you and Rich. We've seen this spot happen, right? Before, doing a crossbody onto the chest and they both go over the top. But we've seen that go wrong so many times. Explain to me something. If you were in that spot and someone hit you in the chest and the crossbody and it wasn't working, would you try and go into another move to make it look less of a botch, or would you follow through and go over the top rope? Because every single time I see it, they always try to follow through with it, and it just ends up coming off looking so bad.
It's hard to tell without somebody actually throwing themselves at me.
It is like, but instinctively thinking, what would you reckon?
Like you have to, like, if you fuck it up and they throw themselves at you, I would think you would have to either hold them as much as you can and slam them or something in the ring.
That's what I mean. Like, would you instinctively go, "This isn't working"? Will it, like, do a Mark Henry followed slam or something? Do you know what I mean? But that's just. But when I saw it, going to your point, that's why I brought it up, was because it's very rare to see a botch like that in a Bret Hart match.
Mm.
And it's a simple thing. It's a timing issue, man. It just doesn't. They didn't get high enough. But and to be fair, when I was watching this match, because when you go back, and I even said it last week, I had fond memories of this match. When I saw them setting up for it, I was going, "Oh, this is going to be my spot of the night. I know it." And then it happened. I was like, "Oh, you went from the spot of the night into my probably, my botch of the night," which was sad.
Rich, what was your worst moment of the night?
I get the whole fucking bell thing, but at the same time, that bell bit just went on too long.
Mm.
I mean, it just kind of like dragged. I think, see, for me though, like the worst spot of the night. It happened several times. How many times did these guys go fucking through the ropes or over the ropes? Man. Like, the wrestlers, it was not needed. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, I found that very frustrating. It's like, oh, like, you're going through the ropes, you're just chilling, kind of thing. It's like, cool. Like, it's like, going back to what I said, was it last week? Did they have 15 minutes to make this match last? They're like, it's going to throw at you the ring for a bit. Cool. Like, it was so much. Every time we were going through that ropes area, going out to the ring, it was pointless most of the time. Or obviously there was the botch kind of thing. It was just, I don't know, like, that just very fucking irritated me. But like I said, the bell part, I get it, but it just dragged on. That whole fucking bell part. The bell part was just like, right, cool, if you're not going to fucking hit him, put the fucking bell down. But like, hey, the main thing is, this is one of the first things I took from it. When was the last time you've seen somebody take the bell to hit somebody with it?
Jesus.
It's been a while.
You know what I mean? Because you used to always be like, we're going to get the bell, but the bell is no longer touched. I want wrestlers to go back and take that bell and hit folk with it. It's better than the chair. It's better than the chair.
But on that point, why does no one grab the hammer for the bell? Because that would do more damage.
I don't think so. Because it's little small hammers. It's not like a proper fucking hammer that we'd use for DIY. It's a little small one. So that big metal bell on a wooden plaque that is thick is going to hurt a lot more than that little shitty hammer.
But wait, Rich, are you asking the new generation of wrestlers to give up their candlesticks? That is blasphemy, Richard.
Weapon of choice, though.
Let's not get me off on candlesticks, boys. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this, but like fucking 5 times at least. We have a whole. Brian could probably conduct an episode on my opinion on candlesticks from this
Rich
edit.
does not like to get wood.
I agree. Like, look, the point I make on candlesticks is, do they hurt? Fuck yes. But should they be in every single hardcore match in wrestling? No fucking way.
Blame the Sandman for this and his Singapore canes.
Yeah, no, but like, as I said, it worked for him because it was a gimmick. It doesn't work when Bailey uses it, when fucking everyone uses it now. It's like I said to you about the super kicks a while ago. When it becomes an every match scenario, it's no longer effective. I saw moves at this. Like, I'll put it this way. The ending to this match was a sleeper hold into a fucking simple kick back off the turnbuckle into a pin. Like that is fucking creative and effective. And it's another point to what I missed.
Worked.
The which?
It shouldn't have worked.
No, yeah, come here. Look, it's one of those things where, look, you know yourself, your man could easily roll out of it, but it is one of those setups you don't like. And back then, as you said, you see a sharpshooter, you see a sleeper hold. They were the two moves. You know what I mean? They should be their finisher. But when something kind of comes out, and this is going back to 92? So when you saw an out of field finish that was outside of the wing house of their finisher, then you were like, oh my god, but nowadays, everything's a finisher. So it's that's why the delivery is not as impactful now in matches, man. Do you know what I mean? When you look at it that way.
See, in this day and age,
Yeah.
are they finishers or signature moves now?
I think they're all signatures.
There's a few of each, though, isn't there?
No, but I mean,
there's designation between them.
I would agree with Rich on that, man, because everyone had, like, you think of it, like Triple H, just off the top of my head. Back in the day, his signature was a spine buster and his finisher was a pedigree. But now everyone has a signature move. Like, they still hit their finisher, but when you hit a finisher 5 times in one match to get a win, is it really a fucking finisher anymore?
But I'm saying,
look at Kenny Omega. V-Trigger is his signature, and One Winged Angel is his finisher that nobody gets out of. So, yeah.
Yeah, but look, Amir, I would dispute that every time, that I think the V-Trigger should be his finisher myself, because I think the One Winged Angel isn't as impactful a move as I've seen most moves. It just isn't. It looks
anyway.
Okay,
we're getting
best.
way off topic again. So
yeah, we always do, but that's what we're all about. But yeah, my worst spot of this match anyway, Rich and Brian, was the crossbody.
Best moments of the match. For me, it was again seeing the crispness of Bret Hart's fucking. He's run through moves, the Russian leg sweep, the backbreaker, the elbow off the second rope, which he missed. They're just crisp as fuck every time I see them.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, that is class. And my other small little moment was in the commentary, Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon taking about 40-50 seconds of their time to totally take a shit on Sheffield, which was totally random. You're going to be in Sheffield? Yeah, I hope not. What the fuck was that about?
Well,
Brian, just get a conversation there.
What the fuck is he talking about? But no, okay. So I mean, look, for me,
then, Tubbs, what's your moment?
Sorry, boy. My top favorite moment in the match obviously was the finish. I really loved that Piper became indecisive in his thinking and screwed himself. I just thought it was a brilliant thing to do. But I loved the whole thing with him, like, showing respect at the end and the belt and everything. That was a great moment. But I will also mirror onto something on this. You remember we watched the Eddie Guerrero versus.
I was just thinking that, as you said.
Remember we watched the Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar match, and I was even saying, as I remember that match being so good. But if we remember, it was Eddie winning the title. It's kind of felt similar to me in a way. I think I remember the image of Bret winning the belt and Piper putting it on him in fonder memory than the actual match.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I think that's what it is. And I think that's a lot of wrestling from back in the day. When you do think back of it, you remember more of the moments rather than the matches.
Rather than the mechanics of it, yeah.
But I will point out one more thing I did like in this match, and it's a silly thing. Like, I loved all the stuff you said, Brian, about, like, when Piper went up top and then Bret just sprung up and then turned the whole match around and started, like, laying in all these crisp moves. But the thing I did like was this match proved a point to what I've been saying for weeks about, the back and forths you see in all the new age wrestling where they go on for like 10 minutes hitting each other back and forth, punch for punch. This was done really nicely and didn't go on. It was just a nice 3-4 punches, then a move. And then that's what I'm saying is that was just so much more impactful when it's like 3 or 4 punches each to lay each other out. Do you know what I mean? It was that thing. It was just, I just felt it was way more impactful than all of the other kind of like newer matches I've seen, when, like, especially like Sheamus and all them, when they go on for ages. That's just me.
What's your favorite moments of the match, Rich?
It's something so simple. It's so simple. It's Roddy Piper locking the sharpshooter.
Very good. Yeah.
Just instantly stop that foot. That's how you prevent from Bret or anyone putting you in the sharpshooter. So how often do you see this happen? Never. You know what I mean? And it was so good because Bret went for it. Piper's like, no, stops that foot crossing over. Bret goes for it again, stops that foot coming over. Great. That's how you block the fucking sharp. Look, his other foot would be like a half leg turned in, and then you kind of kick your opponent away. No, you don't need to do that. Just go, stop the foot. That was a great fucking moment for me. Obviously, all the crisp fucking moves from both of them. Can I just say one thing, though? This could just be me. See, after Piper took his t-shirt off and they're facing face to face.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you think Piper, or you could say the other way around, but Piper looked like a smaller version of Mike Awesome when he has his long Like, I was thinking it. And I also think myself, like, so it's back in the 90s, and I was thinking myself, man, Bret Hart's got a lot of balls for fucking wearing pink back in the 90s. Like, that pink.
I'll be honest, Rich, right? That's one thing I actually did pop for when he came out first in his entrance. I was like, oh my God, the original old all pink suit. I was going, that's fucking cool, because he started going black and it was like half and half as the time went on. But it was rare to see like the all pink costume. Like, but I fucking
nice and red by the end of the match though.
Look, I'll say this, right? I know I always like slag and shit about Bret, yeah, but
nice comment from Tubbs incoming.
No. But I was reading something a while ago about this match because I was looking into a bit of it, right? And it just goes to show the how fucking good he is, right? That he managed to. If you remember, in the 90s, I'll be honest, if you remember back in the early 90s, there was a no bleeding policy in WWE. Do you remember no bleeding? They had that policy in. Bret Hart managed to nick his eyebrow, bleed, make it look like the punch that Piper hit him with, cut his eye, and get colour in this match without even getting fined. I thought that was fucking brilliant when I heard that. I was going, that's a professional, like, that can actually like and keep a scar off your forehead, like doesn't end up with a New Jack fucking head, which looks like a fucking fetus growing out of his fucking brain. Yeah, okay, no, but wow. The thing I will say, I did love seeing Bret before his world title reign, because this was fresh singles competitor Bret Hart. Like, I think this was like after he had won the belt off of Mr. Perfect, then lost it, and this was like his second go at it.
He lost it to Bulldog, wasn't it?
It was was he?
Did he lose? He lost at Wembley Stadium to Bulldog anyway, because that's another.
That's what it was. It was Wembley Stadium, the SummerSlam before this, so.
Yeah, something like that.
It was 92, wasn't it? No, it wouldn't have been, because then. Rich, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? This was 92, WrestleMania 8, 1992, so that would have meant
he
Bulldog.
SummerSlam.
He lost this title to Bulldog after Mania. Yeah. It was. Yeah, so there was a title switch. I can't remember how he lost it, but yeah. Anyway, Piper ended up with the belt. He fought Piper first, but yeah, I just seeing Bret in the old pink, like all pink fucking suit and the fucking black leather jacket again, and like that real old school version of him, like real fresh young Bret Hart, made me just remember back in those days, like because you think if you look back, the main event for this fucking event was, right, and they had Piper and or they had Macho Man and Flair wrestling for the world title at this event. But if you remember, the main event was Hogan versus Psycho Sid, where the Warrior came back to help Hogan. Like, and he, like, it just goes to show, like, I mean, like, fucking back then in '92, the big men were running the castle. Like, Bret was just so fucking good. Like, I'll be honest, he was ahead of his fucking time in the '90s, like, you know. And there's probably the last time I'll ever said nice things about Bret, you know, because now he's bitter. There you go. I ruined it, Richard. No, I'm only joking.
So, what would be your star rating for this, guys, out of 10? Rich?
A 4.
Ooh, that's very low.
I would give it
a lot of those kicks and a lot of those punches didn't even connect as well during this thing. There is actually, you know what? There is actually a lot of things wrong with this match. If you seriously watch, I rewound a lot of parts of this match a lot of times. Though for like 17 minutes in this video, probably invested about over an hour watching this, rewinding shit. This didn't connect, that didn't connect, that. This is not actually as good of a match as you remember. Not as good as a match as what it could have been, kind of thing. Yeah, it's only getting a 4. And you know what? People will probably be shocked because they're probably thinking I'm going to rate this because it's a Bret Hart match just because I fucking love the dude. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. No, this match was shit.
For me, I'll give it a 6. I think Tubbs actually hit the nail on the head with the Eddie Guerrero comparison. I probably remember the moment more than the match. Yeah, as I said at the start, it was very long-winded and short at the same time. It felt like the match went on forever, but then it ended very suddenly or something. Impressed with Bret Hart. I liked the bell thing, but I don't know. It felt like not much happened in the match for me. So yeah, 6. I'm being really fair on it as well, saying that. Cubs.
Yeah, I'm landing on a 6 with this as well. Like, because I mean, as I said, I did love the story aspects. I thought they told a fantastic story. I thought they sold things really well. Even like when Bret jumped off the top rope and Piper kicked him in the face after he'd been busted, he sold it like a fucking champion. It looked like his face had been taken off. And it was things like that. There was great moments in it. But I do agree with you in what you were saying. It's 17 minutes long, and I remember the moments more fondly than I remember the match. And it did feel like it went on for a long time, and then ended out of nowhere with the finish. Even though the finish I did really like, but it just, when you look back at it as a whole, yeah, there wasn't a crazy amount of things that happened in this match. Like, they got in, did a few moves, they went to the outside, botched once or twice, went back in. Then it was explosive for a bit, and they were outside again, as Rich said. And yeah, and it got in, and we didn't even talk about the ref bump.
It was so bad.
That's actually, that should have been, actually thinking, I'm only thinking of it now, that's actually probably one of my worst spots as well, because Piper pushed, like, and they veered. You could clearly see they veered into it, but like, you know, it didn't look like it was delivered really kind of correctly. But yeah, look, I could go on for the night about it, but it's basically this isn't top tier Bret Hart. Now, I don't mean that as in Bret Hart. I just mean as in caliber of match. But I didn't hate it. I just didn't think it was a 10 out of 10 match in any sense.
I will say as well, before we leave it, that this match would have done absolutely no favours whatsoever for Roddy Piper. He came out looking very badly, I think. If I'm honest, he firstly he looked stupid with the ring bell thing and then losing, but a lot of his offense outside of it said busted. But
the crazy thing is, yeah. But I mean, like as I said, but Roddy Piper, as I said, was always like, what's the best way to describe it? He was wild in his reactions. No, but he didn't punch like that. He was a swinger. He was a kind of a wild man in his presence. But yeah, it was a shame, because I mean, you got to give Piper credit for this. Like, you know what I mean? He went to bat for Bret and like went out of his way to put Bret over in this match, which I've seen in interviews Bret really appreciated back then, because he was trying to obviously break out on his own, and Piper saw it. Which was really, it was a cool thing. I mean, I love looking back at the stories about things like that. I think Brian's after freezing, but yeah, it just seemed the finished product didn't. I don't think it turned out the way. Well, look, for them it probably was. They were probably super happy about it, but I don't know. Hey, Rich, we've got a frozen Brian.
I know. Do you know what? For a second, I actually thought he just fucking paused there because you kept going on. He just kind of stood there and being like, I'm just going to fucking freeze until Tubbs shuts the fuck up.
Yeah, because I was talking, right? And I was kind of going, he's kind of just, he looks really interested in what I'm saying, but he's actually, no, wait. Oh, no, he's frozen. He's actually frozen.
Well, I guess we'll just fucking end it then. Fucking Tubbs, what is your fucking pick for next week?
My pick for next week is going to be HBK versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21.
Cool. So if you guys come back next fucking weekend or next fucking Monday. Right, Brian's computer fucked up because he's a fucking cheap little fuck. So Tubbs, again, what is your pick for next week?
All right, as it's Christmas and you know I love HBK, we're going to go with HBK versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21 for Christmas. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. See you later.
You heard him, guys. See you next week. Bye. My internet's a cunt, and we'll see you later. Bye.